So, a very good afternoon. We are in Warsaw today, and we're going to be performing a flight. It's just under 2 hours southwesterly direction down to Verona. Just doing a few sound checks there. Sorry if you've got any background noise. We should be good. Okay, so we are on VATSIM. I don't believe there's much coverage here. Just going to have a quick check on the VATSIM coverage map. So yeah, we're still without any local air traffic control, but as you can see, there's a few aircraft around. Let's go ahead and just confirm a few things on the overhead. Fuel pumps are off. We've got the seatbelt signs off, beacons off, the other lights are as we'd expect. I think what we should do next is just go ahead and get the METAR. As you can see, it's a bit wet outside. And what's the 7.3? Okay, so winds from the west, 9 knots. Visibility, that's okay. Temperature's 3, dew points 2, altimeter 992. Let's just go ahead and set the altimeter down to 992, and we'll just switch off the flight directors for the moment. So, with the flight directors off on the Airbus, that just means that all of the display windows currently show the respective values in them. Let's pop these out in readiness. Go to the data page, just confirm that I've got the latest AIRAC, just cycle 2302 now. And from there we're going to go to the init page, and we'll do init request. Should be something in SimBrief that it can go and grab, and that just quickens the process of preparing the flight. Okay, so there's the various lines there populating, and that's fine. Okay, one thing I will just need to do is just turn down the volume of the X-Pilot client, so just bear with me while I do that. Just use the Windows sound mixer there. I could of course just go in and change the volumes as well over on the settings menu. Just let's see what we've got. Okay, I'll just make sure that my mic levels are good as well while we're in there. Okay. Alright, so to the flight plan page. We said we've got winds from the west. Never actually flown out of Warsaw before, so let's have a look at what runway we've got. Well, we've got a 29, it's 9,000 feet. We are 362 feet above sea level, so I don't really need to consider the elevation of the airport in terms of if that would make any difference to the takeoff roll. So maybe runway 29 would be good. Let's just see if we've got any other clues as to what the planes are using. Of course, they should just announce where they're taxiing to over Unicom. Okay, I'll just bring up the departure page in readiness. Just going to go back onto the SimWare map. We'll just have a quick look at the flight plan. Let's just go ahead and turn that down a bit more. So 29, that's fine. We'll go with 29. And let's just check what SID we are going to use. So a Navina 7 Golf. Well, that's the one just there. Go ahead, insert that. Just confirm 600 miles there. And we'll come straight back, skip the RadNav page, just leave those in auto there, and go back to the init B page. So zero fuel weight today is 67.1 tonnes. That's confirmed. I've loaded that. What I've not yet loaded is the fuel. You see down here on the upper iCam, it just tells us that we've got 3.1 tonnes on board at the moment. So our plan, I think, called for 8.2. What I did notice when I looked at this plan, there isn't an actual fuel bias either, plus or minus. So what I tend to do in the Neos is go with a bit less than, say, if it was a current engine option, because of course the Neos are a bit more efficient, and this is a LEAP version of the Neo. So let's just play with these figures here. We can probably get away with maybe 7.2. Let's just see what happens if we take a ton off there. Yeah, I mean that was certainly prudent anyway, because this was planned with the original idea of attending the VATSIM event yesterday evening, and there was a lot of traffic on that, so having a bit more fuel for the arrival was certainly good planning. But I think today I'm going to settle with around about 6.7 tonnes. Yeah, let's go with that. So 6.7 tonnes. Now we've agreed that, let's come down here to the mech page and we'll go over there. And we'll just go ahead and put that figure in there. So each double plus goes up in 1 tonne increments, and each single plus goes up in 100 kilo increments. That of course differs by the ToLiss aircraft. Obviously the 340, that goes up in I think it's in 5 tonne increments, somewhere around there. I've not flown that for a while. Okay, so we can now go ahead and hit request refuel. And let's just think about when it's going to be a good time to switch on the APU. That just takes a few minutes, of course, just to spool up and be ready for us. So from the init page, we can go over to the perf page, and we can do our takeoff calculations. So to the takeoff uplink page. Before we do that, we're just going to go ahead. I like to do a flap 2 departure, probably just a bit set in my ways there now of doing that. So let's just tell the calculations that we actually want it to do a flap 2 computation and not to consider any other flap settings. So that goes in there. We're now going to go ahead and say takeoff uplink, and go ahead and actually before we hit request it, I always kind of overlook this part. You've got another bit on here that you need to do really to get you accurate, to get your results accurate, and that is just enter the wind data. So we said that we'd got 270 at 9 knots, so magnetic wind, 270 at 9. That goes in the wind box. Runway contamination, as we can see today, is wet. Use your up and downward arrow for that, so we can go up there. The first click it goes up to wet, and then you've got various other options: wet, dry, and so on, various degrees of contamination. I probably don't understand what these mean, so we'll just go ahead and we'll say wet. What I mean is I don't understand what half, quarter, etc. is when you might use those. Probably doesn't make too much difference here. Confirm your takeoff weight is what you expect, 73.8, that sounds fine. Temperature is showing us 8. Now that strikes me as being a bit odd. 8 degrees, okay. My METAR is showing 3. It's interesting. I am using X-Planes live weather, so I wouldn't expect that much of a discrepancy, but it is what it is. Let's just go ahead and hit the takeoff data request. I've got my starting soon message, haven't I, up there? I'm a lemon. I do apologise. Let's get rid of that. There it goes. Away it goes. Okay. Apologies. Hopefully that didn't detract from the viewing, but it may have done. Okay. We shall continue. Takeoff data uplink means that we've now got the figures. Receive takeoff data, and we can go there and you've got two sets of figures, one for a toga, second one here is for a flex temp. Quite happy to go with a flex temp, so we're expecting a flex there of 54 with our V speeds there. So let's just go ahead and insert those. That's all good. Fuel loading is in progress. Over to the progress page, and we'll just drop in there LIPX. That can just go in there as another means there. All that does, that just gives me the distance, straight line distance there, so I just verify that with that. Okay, so the two are in agreement there. Doors are closing at the moment, I think I just heard in the back there. Secondary flight plan, that can become a copy of the active. So just give the fuel loaders a few moments there to finish doing what they're doing. Let's now just hit the flight plan button to reinstate the active flight plan, and let's just see if we've got any constraints here. At or above 5,000, so it seems prudent to me if we just make 5,000 our first altitude. And we've inserted the figures anyway, and you can see here the difference. So we're now just going to go ahead and put on the flight director left side and right side. Just verify down here that we've got one FD2. Okay, 6.7 tons, that's fine. We're done refueling. Let's just go ahead and switch on the APU. What we're looking for there, just staring at that, waiting for the message, flap open. Now we can go ahead, hit the start button, and the APU bleed as well. Let's just switch off the fuel pumps. Switch on the fuel pumps. So the off light, of course, extinguishes. Give the APU a moment there to start up. And once that's available, we'll just get rid of the ground services, the external power, the air conditioning and the chocks as well. So we'll just do the before start checklist. So the cockpit preparation is complete. The passenger signs, they're now on. Fuel quantity 6.7 tons. Just burned 20 tons or 20 kilos already. Takeoff data. So as discussed, we've got a V1 speed of 140, 140 again for rotate, and 143 for V2. And the Barra F992 set both sides. Let's go below the line. Windows and doors are closed. Anti-skid nose wheel steering as required. Beacon, we can go ahead and put that on. Thrust levers, they're idle, and that matches my hardware position as well. Parking brake, so let's just now disconnect the external power from up here. Just make sure APU is available. And we'll go back to the mech menu here. External power is removed. Low pressure air removed, and the chocks. Before we go ahead and unchock the aircraft, we need to put the parking brake back on. Parking brake set. Okay, so the parking brake is set, mobile devices are off. And that's the before start checklist complete. Let's just have a quick review then of the ground chart. So we're here, stand 40, going to be departing from runway 29. So I don't think we'll annoy anyone here if we go straight forward and make a right on this taxiway here. So let's just zoom in as far as we can there on that chart. taxi routes. Let's see if that's there. So there's the runway, and we're somewhere here. So looking at that taxiway there that you see in yellow. And the light's starting to fade away here, so it's 25 minutes past 3 in the afternoon, that's the local time. My guess is Poland is 2 hours ahead of GMT, so that is 25 past 5 in the afternoon. And as we're going to be landing in Italy, then we'll adjust the clocks by 1 hour. Okay, so if we had got air traffic control, we'd have requested our clearance, and in terms for the route, we'd have requested our clearance by now to push and start, but let's just have a review as to who's online before we go ahead and do that. So now we've just got the aircraft here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is we'll start the engines now. So we'll come down here, ignition switch over to start. Just check the bleed page. Items are just there, that's fine. And let's go ahead and we'll start engine number 1. Just like the Pratt & Whitneys as well, the LEAPs also have a period of cooling before they go ahead and do their start sequence. Okay, engine 1 has started. Let's go ahead and we'll start engine 2. Okay, so we have 2 good engine starts there. So I'll put the ignition switch back to normal. The centre position there. I'll just arm the ground spoilers and bring up the flight control page. Need to set the trim as being down 0.2 and arm the auto brakes. Come up here, AP bleed off. and then the master switch off. The start light will extinguish in a few moments. Okay, so let's do the trim. Down 0.2 units, and then we'll go ahead. Let's just clear that takeoff data uplink message, and aileron elevators down, neutral, up, neutral, full left, centre, full right, centre, rudders, left, as much as my aging hardware will do, centre and right and centre. And now we'll just go ahead and put the status page there. It just blanks that out as well. Let's just see if there's anybody else around, and then we'll just make an announcement as well on Unicom. I'm not sure if the KLM did there or not, but there's certainly scope for any one of these to push back as well. Let's just make sure we're tuned into Unicom 122.8. Warsaw traffic, Wizzair 243, A321 taxiing to runway 29. Okay, so hopefully that was received by anyone. Obviously there's nobody there to acknowledge that. Let's go ahead and release the parking brakes. On the taxi light. And a little bit of thrust. A little bit more than a little bit of thrust needed, I think. Brilliant. This is where the hardware just doesn't behave. No thrust levers. Great. One moment while we try to resolve this technical issue. Okay, I don't know why it hasn't, why it's just lost those. Should be back in business. Just keep the power on here. Okay, so we'll just go back down to the this chart here. I don't think this one's actually showing us our aircraft position on that, so we'll use this one. And I will just check on here. Maybe we can't go left there, so let's just follow the KLM. signed out and you are connected to the network. And we shouldn't go there either. Okay. This is fun. Let's look outside. Let's see what's going on. Okay, no. This is called, what you need to do is stream in an airport that you are familiar with, and then you don't look daft. Just as we cross this runway, we just need to make sure there ain't no one coming along there. There we go. Okay. That's good. Our landing lights can go back off. Just did that while I was going over the runway. So KLM 2610. Let's see where he's going. Nice, I think, the looks of that. And then I can see that we are showing as well on the VATSIM coverage map. Okay, so flaps need to be 2. Nice sky. And we can do the takeoff config check now. That's fine. And no harm as well to get the cabin crew to confirm they're ready. So before takeoff checklist, the flight controls were checked. Flap settings 2. Briefing is runway 29. And that's confirmed. Just see where we are here. Not sure why we're not showing on either of those maps now. But anyway, if this is, let's just see where we are. Hotel 1, Hotel 2 rather. That's Hotel 2, which is okay. You can see what I've done here, can't you? I've got a bit lost. Right. Left here down for 29. Glad there's no one watching. Okay, and the ECAM memo is no blue, that's down to the line. And then we should be able to confirm the runway in a moment once we get there. It's looking good there this time, it's looking good. Here we are. So let's go ahead and light her up. Warsaw traffic, Wizzair 243 entering runway 29. Just checking as well on the VATSIM map that there's nobody coming on the approach. There isn't, so just get ourselves on here. There's the Austrian going there. Warsaw traffic, Wizzair 243 taking off runway 29. And we should go take off runway 29 and the packs are remaining on. Take off. Range up to about 50. And 2 clicks forward. Knots, checked. V1, rotate. Rotating. That's positive rate, gear up. Okay, so we'll just come up to the line there on the flight director. So about 15% there of pitch. 900 feet above ground level. So we're in the cloud there, aren't we? Nice coverage of cloud to fly through. Hands back on throttle and climb. So aircraft is just telling us now to pitch down, that's fine, and make a turn to the left. Let's just change the range on that. And of course we're going to be flying westerly, so that means we've got the sun in our eyes for, I would say, most of the way. Left turn there onto that onto the lateral profile, just pushing the nose down again. About there, what's that, around 10% pitch, just less than that now, isn't it? So letting the plane accelerate as per the commands on the flight director, and we'll go ahead and we'll take flap 1 and autopilot 1 as well. So just dial in the next altitude there. So see we're cleared up to 180 and got config 1, do the turn off lights off, nose light also off, and we'll just disarm the spoilers. Just keeping ahead there, next speed 250 knots, we can go straight up to config 0. It's config 0, disarmed, let's just turn the lights up a bit, and here, okay. That's fine, right, we're on the way. We are on the way to Verona, so just checking on the VATSIM coverage map, look like I'm identified, everything's good. Speed's increasing to about 250 knots that it's commanded, landing lights are on, fuel's good. What I didn't do was enter in the en route winds, but I think they're fairly negligible at the moment for this trip. Okay, so we're making this left turn now up to FDEX. And then the next thing we're just going to keep our eye on waiting for is transition. So currently the QNH is 992. Where do we go from here? Let's just zoom out a bit now on these. I can see there's a few stations online, but we are heading. Let me just. You can't see the map, of course, that I'm doing, but we are going to be turning. Yeah, flying in a southwesterly line, of course. Here's transition. So both sides to standard. Just check passing through 9,000. Both sides as checked. Okay, all is good, apart from getting the wrong runway for departure and getting the taxi route wrong. But yeah, it's all good. Nice view, some nice views out there. We can probably get rid of these charts as well. In fact, I'll leave them there. What we'll do, we'll just go bring on the map and just zoom this to a level where we can see what we're doing. So leaving Warsaw behind us. So the KLM that was in front of us, LFMN, I am curious, is that Nice? Let's have a look. Yes, that is Nice. I was only saying to Simly Bob the other night that the amount of ICAO codes I remember is a bit, it's bordering on sad, it really is. Okay, so Warsaw behind us. We are going in a pretty much straight line ahead of us, so I'm just going to bring up the sim coverage here. It's communicating. We haven't got any stations in range zone. Nope. Yeah, we're probably going to fly through the middle of the stations that's online. There's Munich radar is online, as is Bratislava radar is online. I think we sort of go through the middle of them. Is the approach online as well? It's probably a bit too early anyway to sort of think if we've got coverage for our arrival. Probably haven't, but what I sometimes do is just tune into a few frequencies, especially as I've only just recently installed Xpilot, so it just kind of verifies that I'm hearing what we'd expect. So we can tune in there. Let's tune. Which one was I going for? Bratislava. So that can go into COM2, and we can. Let's just make sure. I've inadvertently tuned in COM1, so we want to go back to 12280. Side. Okay. So let's just wind this up as well to 360. Yeah, I'm just a bit concerned that I'm not hearing anything now off of COM2 either. I mean, it doesn't look that busy. Okay, so we'll just give it a moment. Let's go with Munich actually. Okay, so if you've just joined, I was just saying we've not got any ATC where we are, but I've tuned into Munich just to make sure that my ex-pilot is receiving something, and it is, of course. So that's on COM 2, and we've still got COM 1 to hear anything on Unicom.
Lufthansa 582, when ready, descend to reach level 220 at Verona. When ready, descend to level 220 to reach at Verona, Lufthansa 2. Tower 1205. Please repeat the frequency for Austrian 063. 120.5. 120.5, Austrian 063, bye-bye. Lufthansa 5 Kilo Papa, turn left 5 degrees, speed 250. Turn left 5 degrees and speed 250, Lufthansa 5 Kilo Papa. It's Mike Mike, switch to Unicom. Unicom 6 Mike Mike. Good. With 2 for Mike Bravo, can you confirm your heading? 6080. Yeah, you were supposed to fly heading 100. Turn right heading 100, descend 5 low. Heading right 100, left out. Thank you. You're going 22 kilos, clear to land 22, 310 degrees, 7. Clear to land, 22, 3 degrees, 7. You're going 7 at Golf Hotel, switch to Unicom. Unicom for you're going 7 at Golf Hotel, switch back. The 5 Kilo Papa, speed to 20. B2 to 0 knots, moving to Papa. 53817, unfortunately no further ATC, wanting to Unicom to us.
Ryanair at 14 and found Verona, climbing flight level 160, passing flight level 160, climbing flight level 370.
Ryanair Alpha 13, hello, identified. Climb flight level 300.
Climb flight level 300.
ATC, my Charlie Bravo Echo, climb level 390. Flight level 390. The 5 Kilo Papa, turn right heading 170, descend 4000 feet.
Right heading 170 and descend 4000 feet, Lufthansa 5 Kilo Papa.
Reset 112, switch to Unicom. Switch to Unicom.
November 50 Echo Uniform, request higher.
Climb level 230, sorry.
Climb flight level 230, kein Problem, November 50 Echo Uniform.
The 5 Kilo Papa, speed 180.
180, Lufthansa 5 Kilo Papa.
For Mike Bravo, speed to 20.
Switching radar to Lufthansa 2 Papa Yankee, passing flight level 60, climbing flight level 70.
Papa Yankee, hello, identified. Climb unrestricted level 310.
Climb flight level 310, Lufthansa 2 Papa Yankee.
5 Kilo Papa, right heading 225, clear island 265.
Right heading 225, clear island 265.
Then 8 Papa, climb level 300.
Climb level 300, Lufthansa 8.
You're in 22 kilos, then number 30 via Hotel and Mike.
30 via Hotel and Mike, danke dir für den Service.
The 582 on conversion, speed 28 to 100 racer.
On conversion, speed 28 to 100 racer, Lufthansa 582.
With 741 Juliet, when ready, descend level 200 to reach Eston. With 741 Juliet, when ready, descend level 200 to reach headland. Mike Bravo, 180. 180. The 5 Kilo Papa, free speed, tower 1187. 1187 and free speed of the 5 Kilo Papa, thanks for the fire. For Mike Bravo, turn right, heading 170. Right, 170. Wizzair 1683, do you have any problems with your altitude? Wizzair 1683, München. With 2 Mike Bravo, right, heading 230, clear the left 265. Right heading 210, clear the 265.
1683.
Do you have any problems with the altitude?
Negative, sir. With 1683, maintaining level 360, sir.
Level 750, descent level 220.
Descent level 220, Abbey. That's all.
And 508 Uniform,
Uniform, Nova Version, Echo Uniform, ebenfalls, ciao.
Dann kannst du Papa Yankee, direct Pop so.
Direct Pop so, Lufthansa to Papa Yankee. Engine radar, Swiss 741 Juliet.
143, descent level 200.
We're descending 200, Swiss 741 Juliet, thank you.
West 21 Mike Bravo, confirm your intercept in the island. Thanks, right.
Still at a Grenade of 65 Hotel, passing 4000 feet.
Das dann ja da Leute, ich hab ganz klar Level 200. Number 8 Papa for the instruction.
Here you go.
5 for the instruction. Going to the line of the
München, Servus, einen wunderschönen guten Nachmittag, Lufthansa 8, Echo Mike, hast du mich schon auf dem Radar?
Lord Triple, toll. Lufthansa 582, switch to Unicorn.
Unicorn, she's on the Lufthansa 2.
Lufthansa 5, Unicorn Mike.
The other station, Lufthansa 8 is a Mike, Lord, descent level 160.
Descending level 160, Lufthansa 8, Echo Mike.
München, genommen, Lufthansa Triple Yankee, passing level 258, climbing level 280, turning in 12, let's go.
Virginia, Lord, 265, direct Delta Mike 48.
Right, Delta Mike 48 and Squad 1000, Lufthansa Triple Yankee.
Lufthansa 69 Hotel, passing level 70, direct text, climb level 300.
After passing 70, direct Lufthansa 69 Hotel.
Lufthansa climb 300. Confirm climb, flight level 300.
7 Keller to 69 Hotel.
Operator, hello, Lufthansa 695, London 340.
355, hello, identified 6% to flight level.
Go.
Cockpit for 15 minutes. Can we switch in or with the first 6?
British Airbus Alpine 7934, fly level 360 inbound inbound.
Alpine 7934, you're identified.
Windshield, good evening, Channel 64 Golf Charlie, flight level 360 inbound, Papa.
Channel 64 Golf Charlie, you're identified, thank you. Ryanair Alpha 13, translate level 340.
Ryanair Alpha 13, climbing flight level 340.
Expecting ILS 26 left, Lufthansa, Edeco Mike.
1050 bestätigt die Ground schönes Wochenende.
Much for this 8 danke für Service, ja auch noch schönes Wochenende, ciao.
I have received the broadband, thank you, proceed direct to Asplat.
Direct Asplat for Lufthansa 695.
Wizzair 1683, same situation as before, for traffic separation, turn left 5 degrees, please.
Left by 5 degrees with 1683.
Alpine 7934, traffic coming up, same level, opposite direction, turn left 5 degrees.
Left by 5, Alpine 7934.
Generator, hello sir, from Soleil 2288, trailer 370. Soleil 3288, bonjour monsieur, identified, proceed avenue PRC. Proceed direct BIM key for Soleil 3288. 741 Juliet, proceed, come to back.
From 74 Juliet.
Michian, good afternoon. GN317 passing Suben level 360.
GN317, good afternoon, warning 2355.
Squawk 2355, GN317.
Good afternoon, Mission Radar, Silver 781 NEO, Airbus 320, climbing to flight level 360.
781, good afternoon, flight level 360.
360, Silver 781.
AGN 317, you identified, thank you, proceed direct inbed.
Thank you, directing inbed, GN317.
There 168, make another left 5 degrees, please. There 1683, left 10 degrees, please.
Left by 10 degrees with 1683.
Alpine 7934, another left 5 degrees, please.
Left by 5, Alpine 7934.
Central service, you identified, climb unrestricted, flight level 300. With that 1683, traffic is coming up, now with the range is 17 miles on your 12 o'clock, moving to the left to right.
Taking information, copy to wizard 1683.
The Super Yankee Unicom should
Unicom, ciao, danke.
the 64 Tennessee passing level 70 direct 10. That's 695, expect Asphalt level 240, report ready.
Expect Asphalt level 240 and we'll report ready at Lufthansa 695.
Radar, got the EDC to the latest departure near it, right? This is right, sir.
32 allow you identify. Stop your climb, 5,000 feet. There was a visibility of the traffic, proceed direct Veras.
Firm direct to Wizzair 1683.
Native direct Veras.
Direct Veras, Wizzair 1683.
München Radar Eurowing 6901, hello, in flight level 320 over at Lamsi.
Eurowing 6901 noted. 32, climb flight level 200.
Flight level 200, okay.
Lufthansa 8 Echo Mike after Amadi, direct Delta Mike 448.
Delta Mike 448 after Amadi, Lufthansa 8 Echo Mike.
Wizzair 46, proceed direct Veras.
Direct Veras, Wizzair 46.
München Radar, is this also possible for Lufthansa 8 Echo Mike direct Nelvi?
Proceed 448, please.
Okay, 448. München Radar, Delta Lima Hotel 1 on Papa, fly level 330 inbound Lima.
Lufthansa 11 Papa, lower identified. Manchmal bitte 9 Flugplan 6, der letzte Flugplan ist von Dortmund nach Stuttgart.
Jo. And München Radar for Lufthansa 8 Echo Mike, any wish of descent, we symbol here of 160.
Further descent into Berlin.
Wonderful, thank you Lufthansa 8 Echo Mike.
München Radar is getting 2658, kilometer 4000 for shelter. Lieutenant, passenger, unrestricted, flight level 300. Unrestricted 300, Lufthansa 8 Echo Mike, descent level 130.
Setting flight level 130, Lufthansa 8 Echo Mike.
Ryanair Alpha 13, climb level 370.
Ryanair Alpha 3, climbing 370.
32, proceed direct Aspat.
Proceed direct Aspat.
Alpine 7934, are you able for level 380? Alpine 7934, are you able level 380?
Yes, we're able Alpine 7934.
Sure.
Lufthansa 6 on the 5 ready for descent.
Then 695, can you descend to reach level 240 at Aspat?
Heading to reach 240 last path for Lufthansa 6 on the 5.
Canadian 2658, proceed direct to M-Box. Direct to M-Box, for Scandinavian 2658. Cessna 11 Papa, heading into flight plan, thank you, descent level 200.
Descent level 200. Delta Lima Hotel 1 on Papa.
Data device, descent 5000 feet, QNH 1005, 3 speed.
Descent altitude 5000 feet, QNH 1005, free speed, Lufthansa 8 Echo Mike.
Fort Juliet, 350 speed.
Fort Juliet loaded, some unrestricted flight level 282.
Unrestricted flight level 280, Fort Juliet.
32, flight level 240.
Level 240.
Question radar for Lufthansa 8 Echo Mike, QNH 1005. Wonderful.
Order 269 hello, identified. Can you confirm the waypoint you're proceeding to? 269, thank you very much.
Indiana close to Transavia 9 kilo.
Kilo, wonderful, latest. Descent level 150, 3000 feet a minute on radar.
Yes, Transavia 9 kilo.
Center level 150 with 3000 feet in a minute on radar.
Roger, 150 for Transavia 9 kilo.
And the rate 3000 feet in a minute on radar. Please confirm 3000 feet a minute on radar. You must be descent already.
Roger, with vertical speed of 3000 feet per minute for Transavia 9 kilo.
The C3 Hotel. You got flight level 272.
The C3 Hotel Verona. Golf Yankee 265 and then
26 right, expect ready descent level 110 relative to the Finky.
317, switch to Unicorn, good afternoon.
Switching Unicorn at 317, thank you, but days.
When they are 46, when ready, descent level 290 to reach at oil peak.
When ready, descent 290 and I'll be Wizzair structure.
Right now, Alpha 13 is 5 Newton in upper pressure.
Sorry, say again?
Right now, Alpha 13 is 5 Newton in the blood pressure.
Negative, stay on frequency. And Alpha 13, stay on the frequency, please.
Right now, Alpha 13, stay on the frequency.
München, schönen Abend, Lufthansa 31 Whiskey, passing through flight level 274, inbound Airbus.
Lufthansa 31 Whiskey identified. Which level are you climbing? And proceed direct to Akima.
At Akima, and we're going for 350, Lufthansa 31 Whiskey.
Lufthansa 48, climb level 300.
Hey, Canada, Mali, West, Santo, inbound ramp, start level 400, Shannon,
48, climb level 300. That's 612 return identified.
Radar, good afternoon, ISR 5 Romeo Mike at flight level 350 inbound Omalo.
ISR 5 Romeo Mike loaded. Level 2658, trying to flight level 360. Level 2658, tram level 360.
360, Scandinavia 2658.
Alpine 79, Papa Quebec,
Unicorn, Alpine 79, Papa Quebec.
Wizzair 1683, switch to
Wizzair 1683, Unicorn 1 to the similar, thank you.
Wizzair 46, switch to Unicorn Dubai.
Unicom 1 to the small 8 with spot fixtures.
American 55, hello, Jordan. American 55. Voice is more or less 1 or 2 top your request. If you are not active, departure of all restricted. Yeah, 63 hotel, switch to Unicorn Dubai.
Unicorn by Wizzair 63 Hotel.
Order 2698, switch to Unicorn.
Unicorn 1
Lufthansa 4 Juliet, decline to flight level 360.
Climb level 360, Lufthansa 4 Juliet.
What is your requested level?
For the moment, 380, Lufthansa 4 Juliet. Measuring down Lufthansa 4 Kilo Alpha, 5,000, climbing flight level 70.
Support Kilo Alpha low identified, climb unrestricted, flight level 240.
Unrestricted flight level 240, Lufthansa 4 Kilo Alpha, thank you.
Okay, what do we think to it so far then? Hopefully it's going well. Got about 340 miles to go down to Verona. And that's me just hearing myself again, sorry about that. So, yeah, 340 miles. Let's start to get some charts ready. So, back to the Aviator's Tablet homepage. And I'm not going back to Warsaw this evening. After that performance down there of not being able to find the runway, they may not want me back. LIPX, only joking. Let's have a look at the ground chart. As I say, I don't think I've ever flown into Verona. So let's have a quick check at the airport briefing tab. The airport briefing page, noise abatement, low visibility, etc. That's it for that one. Airport briefing. anything on ground movement. Just looking to see if there's a preferred runway. Anything like that. Yes, so runway 4 will be used as a preferential runway. Okay, so let's bear that in mind. So, what that's saying is if the winds aren't one way or the other, they will use runway 4. So let's have a look here. Ground chart. No surprise, we've got a runway 4 and a runway 22. 240 feet above sea level. So that just tells us a few things so far. If we are going to go with runway 04, it's a fairly long rollout. Just keep going, I guess. The military apron is there. And where's the civil apron? Military. Let's put 2 for standard details, so it's there. Okay. So quite a small airfield with the looks of it. Let's close that. I inadvertently opened that one when I meant to go to that one. Okay, so you can see there, that's the start of runway 22. That's that part of it. And yeah, several spots down there. Okay, so some face into the... How do they do that? Some face into the terminal and another row kind of adjacent to the taxiway. Let's get some clues as to what might happen then for our arrival. Type of approach that we've got an ILS on runway 4. Nothing available on runway 22. So let's just go ahead and get the METAR. Just have a quick look on the SimBrief map as well. Sorry, not SimBrief. The VATSIM coverage. So yeah, there we are. Just coming into what would actually be Vienna. Just trying to make out if that's a centre or just a lower. I think it's just a lower altitude coverage that's online at the moment. Just entering that. I'll just keep a lookout for any text messages. Okay, over to Discord server. Go to SimBrief's Discord server and just ask for the METAR for Verona. And let's see what we've got. So winds are variable at 4 knots. So that's fine. They're actually from the west. We're going to land towards the northeast, as per that that chart there. I've got an idea as to why the 4 is the preferred runway, but let's go and confirm this now. So let's bring up the chart for runway 4, and there's our first clue as to why I'm thinking that we've got a preferential runway of runway 04. Terrain 9,500 feet to the north, 2,800 to the south, and like I say, the airfield elevation was just a few hundred feet, so that's not going to give us any clearance as such, certainly not from that segment that's 900,000 feet. So let's go and have a look at the approach itself. Guessing as well then that the missed approach is going to be out to the right, yep. So the terrain's up here. ILS, there's a frequency, there's the course, and then let's just come down here. Let's just get an idea as to what the approach may look like. Probably a 14, hang on, that's missed up to Uncav. Do we actually join here anyway? Or do we join at Volvo and give at? Okay, let's have a look some more then. So, arrival. Our last point in the flight plan is... So we've got Divax, Model, Idrek, and Jat. Okay. So what we got then? Probably an Anjat arrival. Anjat 1 Alpha. Takes us north of the airfield and brings us back in. So out to the west, southwest, and then back in this way with the looks of it. So rev, and then we'd expect there to go left unless we do a Perwo, but that's an ANJAT arrival. We should be good with that. Let's have a look at the distances. So we've got 7, 4.1, 4.2. So yeah, it's not too much of a just sort of an out and back kind of procedure. So there's a terrain that we're dealing with. So we'll expect some constraints on here. You can see them, like level 90, 5,000 feet, 5,000 feet, 5,000 feet. So let's go ahead and plug that in. So let's say the ILS 04 with the ANJAT. Did we say 1 alpha? Yeah, an ANJAT 1 alpha. That takes us that way. We'll insert that and then insert it. And then what we probably need to do is to bring up the plan mode, bring the range down a bit, and then have a look where this is going to be. So that's there's quite a few waypoints on here. That's okay. Let's just stop when we get to ANJAT and see if the constraints will work as well if we put those on the plan mode. Let's zoom right in. So we've got ANJAT, PX422, upgav, deceleration point, PX424, rev 210 knots, down here at mob. 3,000 below, Pevic, and then down to the runway itself. And then here's our missed approach here, which we said goes out and immediate right turn and back down to join on Cav. Okay, so back to the legs page, or the flight plan page. It's an Airbus, not a Boeing. Okay, and let's just make sure that we haven't got any discontinuities in there as well. We haven't, so we're all good. We've got a distance of 300 miles. We've got 4 tons of fuel on board, and estimated fuel on board when we arrive 2.8, so probably a bit wrong to reduce the fuel by that much. We'll, just to be mindful on the approach, we will get a fuel low message. I think it's not fuel low, sorry. Fuel below 3 tons. That's what you get on 321 standard. So that's why I tend to try to always make sure under normal conditions 321 nothing lower than 3 tons. I think the 319 is 1.8 tons, the 340 is 7 tons. So just imagine you're on the approach. I think I did it once. I was on the approach and in the 390 heading to Bristol, minding my own business, and then I get the message, you know, fuel lower than 1.8 tons. So can just be a bit off-putting. So let's just expect that will appear on the approach. What else about the approach? Well, is there anybody online? Let's just see where we are. Okay. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be anybody online anyway. Okay, my land's on. That's fine. Minimums. Cinnamons. Those cinnamons are going to be... I need to do more studying about these, but we've got a category D. ILS 443. So let's go to the perf page. Next phase, approach phase. Okay, let's plug in as much as what we know. So we know that the QNH is 998. We know that's 998. We know the temperature is fairly warm, 14 degrees, 2.8. So we shouldn't expect any rain. Winds as we said, they're variable at 4 knots. Let's go with the difference. I'm going to put in there about 255. 4. Transition 5000, or flight level 50, and as we say, we're just going to put in 400 and make that for 93.
Correction, expect ILS 26 right, descent 110.
The school of thought being it gives us an extra 50 foot so that we don't bust 443. If we don't miss that is, of course we're going to go through 443 feet because we're going to do a normal, perfect landing in the touchdown zone.
Hello, King Air November 265, aircraft flight level 23, sir.
So we've got that flat full, that seems good enough for me, and I didn't mean to come off that page. What I meant to do is go and just have a look at the speeds. 217 is clean, approach 143. Okay, runway 4, that's fine. Let's go ahead and just select all routes to low. So, I think we're good. Still good there. Hi Ham, sorry I didn't see you there mate. Hopefully you're still there. You okay? Just message me, hope you're well.
Speed at 15650, flight level 380.
Michigan radar, hello, Edelweiss, 402, passing level 195, and I'm in flight for 300.
Michigan, I'm going to recording short, for you ready? Yes, 26 cleared for takeoff, Michigan, I'm going to
Airbus 22 Echo, radar check. We have some small problems with the audio.
454, no voice, coming out into my
Sorry, München 454, Condor 454, flight of 340 on board team.
And 454 jump rate, squawk 3466.
Squawk 3466, Condor 454.
Anyway, due to engine set 4000 feet, GNH 1005.
Tower 22 Echo, descending 4000 feet, good edge 1005.
To my kilo, time 11290. Condor 454 identified, direct to P-Rock. Confirm P-Rock with the Papa.
P-Rock, 454.
Device 402, direct jet to climb level 330.
Direct get to Canada 360, radar line 12 0.
We can 771 with 454 descent to reach level 140 at P-Rock.
140 at P-Rock, 454.
Leader ToLiss with the 5 Sierra passing you at 3,800 feet for 470.
5 Sierra low identified, climb unrestricted, flight level 240.
240 unrestricted. After 5 Sierra.
Then Papadula identified out of 3000 feet, climb unrestricted to flight level 200.
Climb unrestricted flight level 200, let's secure net up.
Then Avian 2658, monitoring Unicom 128, goodbye.
Here comes Kennedy 2658.
Jet 771, Richard. LM 189, contact Langen 123.275. Langen 005, descending 10,000 feet, GNH 1225. Sunday, Angel, take away, the 5 Sierra, direct to KXC, stop your climb level 200.
Direct to KXC, stop climb level 200.
Then airway 228, road transition present today.
Whichever is 22 Echo, continue present heading.
Sensor 4 Kilo Alpha, confirmed climbing 370.
Climbing 370, Lufthansa 4 Kilo Alpha, we need to accelerate a little bit over here.
Climb 314. Yeah, 9 Papa Zulu, left turn, direct Lasis, climb level 310.
Left turn direct Lasis and climb flight level 310, let's secure net up.
The Angel Interior descent level 100, expect 265.
Expect 265, descend 100, Lufthansa 820.
Lufthansa 5 Sierra, confirm the clearance for the direct from Eastland once again.
5 Sierra, direct to KXC.
Check the Kilo Echo Kilo NEO, okay, roger, Lufthansa 5 thank you.
Airbus 22 Echo, speed to 20 on
HMS 22 Echo, speed 220 or less.
AI 317, switch to unit comfortable. Central Tango, 2,000 feet a minute on radar, it's at 5,000 feet, QNH 1006.
2,000 feet or greater, descend 5,000 feet, QNH 1008.
Mr. Firm, QNH 1006.
Correction, QNH 1006.
Airbus 22 Echo, right speed 230, cleared LS 265.
Heading 230, cleared LS 261.
Confirmed, cleared LS 265.
Cleared LS 261, soll zu losgelassen.
Departure Sierra, climb level 240.
Level 240, Juliet Sierra.
Thunder 1172, when ready, descend level 270 to reach it out. Thunder 1172, descend flight level 270 to Armut.
HMS 22 Echo, free speed, thank you.
Accurate Tango, continue present setting.
Clear present heading, Lufthansa 2 Tango.
Airbus 22 Echo Tower, damages.
177, vielen Dank für deinen Service, noch ein schönes Wochenende.
Radar, Lufthansa 1172, which runway we can expect in Munich? That is your decision because I'm closing very shortly, but most likely to be first large speed wide. 454 Langen 123275.
123275, ciao.
Speedbird 156 Langen 123275.
Langen 123275, speedbird 156. Reached our double descent now, represent.
Lufthansa 520 descent level 110 to reach at Kekesi.
110, reach at Kekesi, Juliet Sierra.
Going to Papa Golf 50 instructions.
Radar Gute, Lufthansa 900 level 285, descending 4,000 feet and go.
Hello, just about to reach the only point to use control. Thunder 1172, switch to use control. Unicum, ciao. Lufthansa 4 Kilo Alpha, switch to
Unicom, Lufthansa 4 Kilo Alpha, goodbye.
November 265 Henry, switch to use control.
See ya!
Warsaw 120 November, 12 Uniform. Sorry, Warsaw 120 November, disregard. Call Warsaw now, 125.
Switching to Warsaw. 125, thank you. That's one got 125.
With the factory at Sierra London 123275.
Tango Factory 0123 275.
The injury tango speed 250 on Antoinette.
250 on the injury tango.
That's my kilo switch to
Unicorn 20.
The injury tango is at 4,000 feet when you have to flight. Like 402 Unicorn shoot.
Unicorn, middle right order, double line.
Injury tango when you have 250 on Antoinette, at 4,000 feet.
Reaching 250 knots, bringing 4,000 feet.
Trader, hello, Web 1 with you, the city is still considered.
Chapter 1 along the is about to close, what is the Unicorn?
Unicorn 125,
Alpha 55 no further Unicorn show. What is this name? I'm not sure. The injury tango speed is 200 knots.
200 injury tango.
Then after Zulu higher with Warsaw 12545.
Over to Warsaw 12545, Leipzig, get another target here, church for Holland, ciao.
And injury tango time right at 170.
Right 170, injury tango.
The injury tango time right at 225.
Right 225, clear that is, 26 right, injury tango.
Okay, we are back in the flight deck, just in the nick of time to start our descent down into Verona. Let's go ahead and, as I say, whilst we're on VATSIM, there's no controllers online. Ironically, Warsaw came online not so long ago. So, just before we go down, there was the KLM out there. I've lost sight of him, but they took off at the same time as we did, within a few minutes of each other, outside of Warsaw. And if you remember, I was saying they're going down to Nice. Okay, and we've just been disconnected from the voice server. I think I've got some issues here with the frame rates going on. But let's try again. I'm going to get rid of the music now for this phase of the flight. So we got. I've not entered the wind data. Being a bit lazy here. Absolutely amazing scenery out there. Really, some nice colours going on there. Hope you agree. You see on the terrain radar ahead of us, it's sketching out that terrain that we expected. That's at the north of the airfield. Weird noises there going on from the engines. Okay, so we're going to go down to 240 initially, and that is just in case any air traffic does come online. You know, that's probably a realistic flight level for the current, for where we are currently. So let's have a look over here. We've got our charts. All ready. Hopefully we'll get some reference once we get down to Amjad, and hopefully we can see the star as we follow that. Wow. Very mountainous there. But yeah, it's quite a lot of aircraft in the air at the moment. Notice London. London was online earlier. But 2 controllers were online, but they are offline now. Just seems to be central and a bit of Eastern Europe where there's coverage. I think there's another event. I forget where it is. If I'm just looking on the map now, you can probably see it. Looks like it's coming from Turkey up to Norway. That's right. So yes, Istanbul up to Oslo is an event today. So okay, so that's why Warsaw is online. So they've opened up their controllers on there. Yeah, it looks like you'd have wall-to-wall coverage if you were doing that event today. Okay, so let's just see what else is happening. How many viewers have we got? Must have about 15 at the... oh no, we don't have 15 viewers at the moment, we've got 1. And the clue is that I actually just keep a device up and running just to verify that the stream's going as I would expect. Just 1 second. Still recovering here from a bit of a cold. Just 1 moment. Okay, but I could not wait any longer to crack open a can of Moretti. It's Saturday. We have to do these things. Do we need any more of a lighting level on there? Hurt to increase the lighting level up here. Dome lights are probably on as well. If you remember when we flew to Oslo last week, I said that my script normally puts the lights up to dim for the departure. Let's have a look over there. Let's just go back. Let's whiz back into the cabin. Yeah, that terrain is quite high, isn't it? But yeah, my system, like I was saying, is creaking, so it's time for a full overhaul. But yeah, for the 15 viewers, I'm just going to post a message in chat there. So we've begun our descent, and let's pin that message. Okay, so it's passing through 263, speeds under control. On the VNAV profile, bit of power. being engines are applying a bit of power here just to maintain this descent rate. Feels a bit shallow at the moment, but that's fine. Winds, that's a bit odd. One knot of wind at this flight level? Yeah. Come on, Austin. Let's get this. Let's get the weather model in pristine condition, mate. So, coming down to flight level 240, about to level off, so maybe if we say that 150 would be the next flight level. If we were, I would say on VATSIM, but if we were, got a controller at the moment, so let's just see if there's any change to that condition, if there's any controllers here. Where are we there? Yep, okay. No, I don't think there is. So I was just, during the introduction to the flight, I was just saying that we were going to fly this flight last night from Warsaw down to Verona. There was an event happening last night, but weren't able to complete that, so I thought, well, I have the flight plan, why not fly it during the day? Got a few hours before I get busy with stuff this evening. So, are we yet on our star? Nope, that begins at Anjat, down there. That's where our star begins. Let's just go down to a range of 40 and a range of 80. Terrain radar's on my side. So fuel situation is still good, albeit a bit on the lean side as to what I normally land with. So we've got 3.1 tonnes at the moment. As I briefed earlier, just need to be mindful that at some point we're just going to get the message fuel below 3 tonnes. We've got our auto brake set to low. That's fine. It's a long runway down in Verona. So, touchdown will be normal, of course, absolutely in the touchdown zone, and then just roll along down to Whiskey, so runway length 10,000 foot. Therefore, do we need to bother with auto brakes? No, we won't. Disengage the auto brakes, and what we will do then.
Bolzano traffic, normal 0 Echo uniform at Igna Termino at 5,000 feet for runway 01.
Okay, so let's just turn down COM2. I did just turn that up earlier just for a bit more ambience. So COM2 is just tuned into Munich Centre, but we're not. So we're not within any active online centre at the moment. Let's just try and find myself on the map, on the VATSIM map here. Yeah, there I am. Okay, so yeah, no, not under anything. And maybe we can just tune into a one of the approach frequencies. So who's on approach? LIPP, Dover Area Control. Not to be confused with Dover, down in Kent. Not that Dover. LIPP. They're not showing anywhere as being able to. I'm not showing as being able to select them. Leave things as we are. Okay, so coming down to flight level 150, look at that down there. That is really nice. Nice view. Just a case of monitoring things now. Just making sure that we remain fully aware what the aircraft's doing. Okay, 64 miles to go. Passing 167, so maybe now 110 is fine. We're going to keep the systems in managed at the moment. Don't see any point to go back to selected anything at the moment, so we'll just let the speed manage itself. There are some constraints down here that we've already briefed for, so and that's in line, you know, with my way of thinking. Some of these turns were effectively going to come back 180 degrees on ourselves, so I'd certainly like to think that we're taking the turn a bit slower than 250 knots. I think one of them is around 220 knots. Alright, so it's probably no surprise that this route brings us kind of down here where you've got the most clearance. So slight left turn in a moment, so on the way down to Movar, and then Idrek is the next one. So let's just make sure. We've got a limit here, which will just be the 10,000 feet limit. What have we got down here? There was definitely a 5,000. Here's a speed constraint and an altitude constraint there of 3,000 feet, which is that one. So that's an at 3,000. How do you know that these constraints are in the flight plan? Just look for the asterisks. It's different to the Boeing. Yeah, we've got some traffic down there. Who are they? And where are they going? Let's have a quick look on SimAware. On the map. On the VATSIM map. Okay, so that is... they're at 5,600. I think that's them. Looks like they're just doing a little circuit. LIPB. Back round to LIPB again. Cool, okay, so we can see ourselves. It's always as well just keep a good look on the map, see where you are. So, if you can, just keep aware of your situation as well on the VATSIM map. That will help you, especially if you think that you're going to come into an active centre. That will just help you identify what that centre is. Let's go ahead and go down further. Flight level 70 now. Keep the constraints on that side, down to 20 there, 20, 40 that side. See how the terrain radar is painting out the water there. Okay, so over to the star, which we're about to join any moment. There's our aircraft on the star chart. Okay. Let's just see if we are seems to be a bit quiet there. So, aircraft there has added a bit of power, presumably there. It just thought that we just needed to level off a moment, catch up with the VNAV profile, and down we go again. So anti-ice, we've considered that. We have got clouds around, but at the moment the TAT is 7, so we should possibly be thinking about switching on the anti-ice. So even though we've got 14 degrees on the ground, it's only 7. The TAT is only 7, which is warmer than the outside temperature, which is -2. But we're not yet in those clouds, so let's just leave that off for the moment. Below flight level 100, landing lights are on. We've got the wing lights on. Actually, the landing lights are not yet on. No, the landing lights are on. That's fine, wing lights are on. Okay, quick look out of the window again. All is good. Okay, I'm just going to save my flight. I haven't actually saved it, not even on the ground during preparation, so well, let's just save that as 77 B1. Okay. More lighting probably needed inside. And engines spooling up there at 7.0, so started doing that of late. Okay, let's carry on down in a managed descent. Okay, so managed descents 5,000, but we want to be down to 3, so let's just select 3 and push. No concerns on the VNAV profile. Okay, so let's have a look at the star chart. It's going fine. 5,000. Okay, so we don't have that on there, but we're coming down to 3,000, 3,000 below, and then we should start to decelerate in a moment. So we meet the constraint here at RIVEV 210 knots. Down we go on the navigation range, 10 and 20 respectively. Do we see the airfield on our left hand side? Probably, let's see. No. Okay. So you see now the speed, selected speed has moved down, and it's just levelled off in order to slow down. Okay, so we've now got the message fuel below 3 tons, which is what we expected. The engines have powered up there, 210 knots. It can't do because I've not gone into config 1, so let's go config 1, speed checks. And transition, let me just get the altimeter setting. which is 998. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and set 998. Gives us a bit of a credit anyway. What do I mean by that? By setting 998 we effectively lose about 300 feet. Okay, so now we want to be levelling off 3000 or below. Go ahead, we'll just switch the, select the localizer this side, that side, which basically means that's going to display. It does not arm it, so it's not, you're not saying that I want to capture the localizer, but what you're saying to it is just go ahead and display it for me. Let's go ahead and go config 2, and now this is where you might want to consider selected speed, maybe coming down to 180 knots here. So the reason for that is, without me going selected, it will probably want to fly a lot slower down to this flap setting here. In fact, let's just push and see where it's going. So we've gone speed. 143 looks to be selected, so unless that's the lowest, 144. Yeah, you can see it's right down there where it wants to go. I'm having none of that for the moment, so let's stay 185 now. We are 12 miles. Probably should have put these fixes in a moment ago, but let's just go with the fix info there. LIPX, that goes in there, and 11 mile radius. That's there. Okay, we're about to cross that. Let's go with a 7 mile radius and 3000 or below. So let's just come back here. We should be ready now to arm the approach. So lock star means it's waiting. It's waiting for us. There's a runway. Let's just slow down to 170 knots. So now it's captured the localizer. Fly with this for the moment in this configuration. Let it capture it. Okay, so I think I'm still, let's just make sure I'm still tuned in there to Unicom. Verona traffic, Wizzair 243 approaching runway 04 Verona.
2,500.
Okay, gear down. Let's go with config 3. So winds are light at the moment, as per the forecast. Brakes are off. Let's go now then and push the speed knob, and that will go back into manage speed,
2,000,
and it will come down to the approach speed. That's the outer marker. Config full. Let's arm the spoilers. Sting the cabin. Verona traffic, Wizzair 243 landing runway 04. Okay, let's go ahead then and we'll get this on the ground. Just before we do that, landing checklist, ECAM memo, no blue. Auto thrust will remain as speed. Not moving the flight stick too much.
1,000.
Just keeping it on the glide slope. Just right slightly, very, very slightly. Just coming down slightly. Of course we're not moving the thrust levers, we've got the auto thrust engaged. Down just a little bit. Just looking at the runway. Looking at both 2 reds, 2 white. Looking at the glide slope.
500.
Left a touch. Left a bit more.
400.
Back on the centre line. Up a bit. Up a bit
Minimum.
more. 3 reds.
300.
600 foot per minute. Back down
200.
again. Back down. Back down. Don't want to get too high there. Should come over the threshold. They're about 100.
100.
And then 50.
50. 40. 30. 20. Retard.
Might hurt.
Retard. 10. 5. Retard.
There we go. So remember, we've got no auto brakes. It's on purpose. Reverse. Adding a bit of forward stick. Got 10,000 feet to play with. So downhill here. Let's go versus stowed. And manual braking. And we'll just exit the runway just there. Refreshments. Okay. Welcome to Verona. So 1 hour 38. Just stop the chrono. And as we just cross over that line there, we'll start to clean her up. Let's get the strobes off. It says we were stable. Strong and stable. Terrain radar off. Speed brake. Flaps. The rest of it my first officer will do. Let's just get that out of the way for the moment. And then make a left turn. We'll take one of the parking bays along here. Hopefully that's as per the ground chart. Let's see if we interpreted that correctly. So we'll just come to a stop just there. A near stop. Okay, and just check the parking chart. So again, we don't get the luxury of seeing the plane on there. Get it here. We should be in that area where we can park, but do we see any numbers here on the ground? I know a way we can do this. Just jump out of the flight deck and 32 is looking good. Just because we're right over that. Turn off lights can go off. A bit of dome light. That's 32 there, isn't it? On that line. There we are. Let's just make sure we're on the line there. Some good views there of Verona city. And parking spot 32. So there should be a stop line down here. Yes, there is. This might be a bit loud over me at the moment. Apologies, but let's keep that to the stop line just there. Okay, and then we can go ahead and set the parking brake. So we are parked up there. Parking spot 32. Been raining here as well. Just see some of the damp patches on the apron. Okay, down to the mech page. And we'll set the chocks, low pressure air, external power, so we can go ahead and unset the parking brake. The taxi light can go off, and we can now shut down the engines. So let's go ahead and engine 1 cut. Engine 2 cut. Oh, you lemon. Let's go ahead and do what I should have done. That's probably enough to kill it and cause the thing to reboot. So while we're doing that, I'll just restart the aircraft for the next crew. Show the main window, not that window. That's shared flight. Stable approach. Okay, the scores on the doors. So threshold, bit floaty. Ideally 14 to 1500 is good. Centerline deviation, that's good. Indicated airspeed, that's fine. Threshold crossing height, 45, that's good. Pitch attitude, +2, okay. Crab, bank, wind, yep. And the G load, all fine. So I'm happy with that. Okay, so to my 50 or so viewers that I think we had at one point, I think they've all gone now though. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm pleased to have just got Xpilot installed. Certainly want to get back into doing some flights on VATSIM. Let me know if there's any particular route you'd like. Give me a like, subscribe, and I'll see you soon on another flight.